welcome to room 2. And I hope you are interested in the next talk on the agency business model is broken, ... and then what do we do instead? Looking towards future improvements. And I think it follows on from a lot of the talks I was in yesterday about how do we make ourselves better, how do we make our businesses better, have better client relationships, and how do we fix the whole industry? Okay, that might be a bit big, but we can aim, right? I had the pleasure of talking to Lou a little bit yesterday while desperately waiting for coffee outside, who got your start in the industry back in 2011 and creating custom WordPress websites, which sounds familiar, and then around 2019 changed direction a bit, expanded into the world of marketing, digital marketing, SEO, pay-per-click advertising, and has spent the last 5 years working in digital agencies and has been seeing good things and bad things from the inside out, as we all have been working with different organizations. And Lou has a special interest in ethical, holistic, and consent-based marketing, which sounds like the customer's dream, doesn't it? Which is a great, great aim. And a lifelong learner and loves to teach without technical jargon, which is the way you should teach. So let's give it up for Lou.
Okay, am I on? Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay, so I wanted to just start by saying I'm not saying that all agencies are bad and all agencies are wrong, because I'm sure there are good ones. I am speaking from my own experiences working in agencies and hearing what small business owners are saying about agencies online. So please don't freak out and think you're doing anything bad. Hopefully you learn something a bit new and different out of what I have to say. So I just wanted to check in and make sure that you've come to the right talk and understood, just check in about why we're here. So you may have stepped into this room because you're curious about the bad reputation that agencies are getting. You may be or have been an employee in an agency and wondered if the way things that they're doing is normal, or you may be wondering that. You may be wondering what's broken? Is it my agency? Is it an agency that you've partnered with? And what is the problem? How do we fix it? Is anyone else doing it differently to us? And why should we change? So the next slide is about me, and I've already had a great introduction, so I really don't have to say much about this. So I will skip that. But the reason I decided to come and talk is because I don't feel good about what I'm doing, and I feel based on what I've experienced in working in and with agencies, I feel like that services are being sold just because they can and not because they should. And I don't feel 100% comfortable with this. So what is the problem? The problem is this flawed model where we're just selling a service. So it's just a website, it's just social media posts, it's just Google ads. And there's no consideration for how that fits in with the bigger picture. And this is where I feel like things fall flat, and I don't think this model works anymore. I feel like this happens a lot. I feel like I do a lot of Google ads in my job, and oftentimes the client has been sold on Google ads. Google ads is all they want, but there's no consideration for where we're sending that paid traffic to. So it's kind of like you're sending people down a slide and into a hole, because even though ads are doing their job, they're getting clicks and getting traffic, but the website is just sending people into a hole because they're not taking action, they're not converting, they're not being sold. So the ad did its job, but the website didn't do its job. And that part of the conversation is missing. So why is this wrong? It's a misalignment of priorities and goals. It's creating beautiful websites that may look attractive, but they have no call to action. It's like designing the website that looks pretty, but not investing in a copywriter to get that sale. So the customer just leaves and goes to the next website. So even if it's like SEO or paid traffic, it doesn't matter. The website didn't do its job. The ad or the SEO did its job, but the website failed. And I feel like there is a missing piece in understanding the bigger picture of what we're trying to achieve and what we need to sell to our clients. And you get into situations like this where sometimes I feel like the client has just paid for a service and they're just paying to complain to someone because what they expected they were going to get, what was being sold, and the work that I'm doing is out of alignment. And I don't think this is always the client's fault. Sometimes it can be, but that's very rare. But yeah, I feel like we can do better and avoid this. So how do we change this? I really felt like using this quote. I thought it was appropriate. From Jurassic Park. We were so preoccupied with whether or not we could that we didn't stop to think whether or not we should. This is just my interpretation of how I feel things are going. I feel like, yeah, a lot of, tech and marketing services are being sold to clients just because, yeah, we can, but we're not stopping to think if we should or if it's the right thing right now for this business. What this looks like for me, and part of the puzzle that goes missing, is that businesses are not really told about the thing that they want, say if it's ads that they want. There's no consideration for where it fits in the bigger picture. And in the discovery process of figuring out whether your services are a good fit for the client or not, there's no consideration of this thing. So some people like to use a funnel model, but I've used this circle model because I feel like it's an ongoing thing and they all kind of nest inside one another because, depending on your business, you've got to attract, nurture, and convert over and over again. And so oftentimes when I'm doing something like Google Ads, our clients is just being sold on and is interested in the convert part. But what's actually happening is that maybe there's a step missing in the attract or the nurture bit that we're not covering with our services or our discovery process. So this can result in clients getting a bit upset and not getting the results they expected when actually maybe the problem wasn't ads, maybe the problem was somewhere else in this funnel. And another thing that I feel like is missing is that we sort of need to be flexible and adaptable and respond when things are working and when things are changing. Sometimes, yes, the retainer that you sell your client on for maintenance or ads or SEO or whatever, sometimes that can work over a 6, 9, 12-month period, but sometimes that might not be the right thing. So we have to be prepared to adapt and adjust things based on what's going on around us and making sure that we're checking in at regular intervals. And I wanted to share this quote from Troy Dean. If you're actually helping your client, then doing exactly what you said 4 months ago, because that's what the proposal said, regardless of what's happening in the world, it's actually unethical. So yeah, like I said, if things are still going okay and business goals are being met, then by all means, stay with the proposal. But if it's not, be prepared to touch in with your client and have those conversations. So some of the ways that we can practically do this is just look at the bigger picture, have congruency and follow through, be prepared to thoroughly investigate what your client needs. It may not be just ads. It may be that we have to talk about the website as well. Make sure that you are prepared to adapt things when they're not working. Make sure that whatever reporting you do with your client makes sense to their goals and they understand. And make sure that they also feel empowered and confident with the reports and the goals that you're sharing with them. One thing I come across oftentimes when I see reports given by other agencies, the client will be like, oh, I've got impressions, but they don't know what impressions mean. There's a missing piece there. They're getting ads, they're doing SEO, they're getting website visits, but no conversions. We're missing something here, so we've got to be able to adjust and adapt and make sure that our clients understand that if they want more sales, if there's a problem with the website, we need to address that and not just focus on getting more traffic. So, yeah, we need to make sure that our clients understand everything they need. And what this could look like in practice as well, it's saying, yes, we can do that, but yes, we want to do that for you, but be prepared to say yes and or yes, but. Have regular meetings with your clients and say, check in, is this still aligning with your business goals? Is there anything we need to change? Do these results make sense to you? Do we need to present the results in a different way so that you can digest this information better? Consider all that. And the model I put up there as well, see these different things touching one another. Sometimes an agency might just focus on a website, like I said, and leave out ads. Or they might just focus on ads and leave out website. Or they focus on website and leave out the copywriting on that page that gets a customer compelled to buy. Those things all need to flow into one another and, touch one another. We need to move from serving just services and see ourselves more like strategic partners that assist our clients in growth. So I want to share some examples of agencies that I believe are doing this well and are setting a good example for how we can change for the better. The first one is Persuasion Experience. So people might come to Persuasion Experience thinking that they're media buyers. We want to do Facebook ads. But Persuasion Experience, they won't just do that. They will look at the full funnel experience. You can't just go to them for Facebook ads, even if that's what you want. They understand that there is a bigger picture involved in this. So they'll do Facebook ads, but they won't just do that. They will create a landing page that captures and converts, that's got the copy on it that persuades someone to buy, and take care of the whole customer experience. Excuse me. And that is led by Alicia Conlon-Hurd. She is, I believe, based in Melbourne, but she doesn't have a permanent home, so she travels a lot. And her agency is all over the place, remote. The next example I want to talk about is the Digital Picnic, or TDP. So they are very picky about the clients that they work with, and it's not just like a personal thing. They really check to make sure that their organic social media is working well before they lead a client into working on ads with them, because having good organic social media is a good indicator as to whether or not ads can work for you. So that's something that they really want to make sure before they sign on a client. They're really big on educating as well. So education is a really major part of their business and one of their revenue makers, but also it's really important to them. So they inspire me a lot in that regard. They also do a weird thing, which I think other agencies might not like, and that is they work towards getting clients off retainers. So as far as I understand, they might have a client on like a Google Ads or Facebook Ads retainer for like 3 months, and then they hand the ads over to the client because although it would be nice to continually get money from them, the nicer thing to do is to educate and inspire and empower them to take over their ads if that's what the client wants and needs. And they also did a webinar recently, and I think it's happening again soon, which is how to get the most out of your agency. So I think that would be a good one to check out if you want to see the flip side of this, of what a good agency relationship can look like from the perspective of a business owner. And another thing I wanted to share just for inspiration is Agency Mavericks, which is led by Troy Dean. So I think one of the things that inspired me to come up and talk about this was Agency Mavericks, their coaching programs, what they teach agencies to do. So they offer like a premium coaching service for agencies, and they kind of aim to get you out of that just selling services and actually doing thorough discovery and actually like being there for your clients for exactly what they need, not just standalone services, but actually being a strategic partner. They will guide you on how to do that. So I am inspired a lot, and if you'd like to learn more, find someone who will help you with this, I would consider learning from them. So I just also wanted to touch on why we need to change. Because it benefits everyone. This stuff goes around. Good karma goes around. By doing better, we help other businesses, we help our clients thrive. We inspire other agencies to do better. We sort of help to raise the perception rather than, you know, a business owner having a bad experience with one agency and assuming all agencies like that. We can encourage each other to do better. And it just, like, it makes sense. It makes sense to give our clients everything they need and nothing they don't. It just, yeah, I think we should all inspire each other to do better in these regards. So, conclusion, I really believe we should be looking at bigger pictures strategically, not just offering just a website or just ads or just social media. We need to dig deep with our clients and understand what they really need and if this fits in with the bigger picture of all the marketing that they're doing. Business owners need solutions, not just services, and they're looking to us to guide them. By moving from services to strategic planning, we can create lasting value. And I would like to ask you all how you might consider doing this. Thank you.
Great, thanks. Yeah, that was great. I loved it. Yeah, I find myself talking to students all the time about just because a client says that they want something, that doesn't mean that that's what they want, and you need to ask clarifying questions. And yeah, it's the same everywhere. We have time for questions. If anyone would like to ask anything.
Thank you very much, Lou. That was a great presentation. I agree with you in a lot of the things that you said. Our agency actually tries to go towards that, offering a comprehensive view of the whole journey for the client. But my question is more around, we work with small to medium businesses. How do you market yourself for the client to actually, or how do you think you will market yourself for the client to actually see the value in a proposition like this? They usually look at 2 or 3 other agencies, especially during the discovery kind of part of the whole thing, and then yeah, usually they have been burned by other agencies as well. So besides that discovery session, is there any other way that you would recommend to market ourselves as well in order to, reach more people, maybe get word of mouth, and maybe one day end up as one of your examples as well? Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't really have any specific answers for you, but based on what I've seen, these agencies that I put in my examples do a lot of educational material. So Persuasion Experience actually has a lot of free YouTube videos that you can go and watch and learn their processes. And the Digital Picnic have got a range of educational courses, different price ranges that you can go and learn from as well. So I believe actually sharing what they know and being transparent about, their processes and how and why they do what they do. I feel like that can help business owners feel more confident.
Other questions?
Thank you. Yes, I enjoyed your presentation too. Thank you. That was really good. I agree with a lot of the stuff you said. Just had a question around Google Shopping ads. Sometimes to me they feel like the slide going to the bottomless pit. Yeah, and you obviously got by default no control over the landing page. Just go straight to the product. Yep. How would you say a client wanted to run with that, or to me they almost seem like a bit of a necessary evil if you look at the Google Shopping search bit. But how would you approach that with a client and maybe explain it, or maybe just avoid the ads altogether?
Could you tell me a little bit more about that? Because I don't really understand what the problem is, sorry.
Oh, say a client wanted to run Google Shopping ads.
Yep.
And just fitting into this model instead of just doing the service. Like the pitfalls, or because there's not much fine tuning you can really do, can you? Just put the ads on and run them, or is there? Unless I don't know.
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm happy to answer Google Ads questions. Yeah, there's not really much you can do on the ads end. You can only really control cost per click and stuff like that. So what you can control is on the product pages. So just make sure that they're really fine-tuned and they've got good photos and they, have a clear description and all the stuff that helps to convert. Does that answer your question?
Oh, sorry, Jack. Yeah, I just thought more, around explaining to the client, what the expectations are around the shopping ads in particular.
Yeah.
Because you were just saying, you look at the whole picture and the copy and everything. So basically you're saying maximise, you could tweak the actual copy on the products and everything like that.
Yep, do the UX, the copy, the SEO as well. SEO helps Google Ads perform.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Hi. My question is, how do you do, or in your experience, or do you have any examples of when you've worked with clients who may have other agencies that they're doing in different channels? So if they're, they might have someone else, they might have a freelancer doing their social media and they've invited you in to do Google Ads or something like that. How do you manage those conversations when there's maybe other third parties involved in that company?
Oh, that's great. No, I'm not saying, oh, that's great. No, that's a good question. When that happens, I like to invite them in to chat with us. Just maybe have a deeper conversation at the start, and then maybe every month or every 2 months, depending on the client needs, just have a check-in just to make sure that we're all on the same page and we all understand what the business is trying to achieve, and just making sure that we're not stepping on each other's toes, and making sure that, if there's a piece of material that worked well on social, maybe we can translate that into ads. Just have those conversations.
Thanks for your talk. I guess I'm coming from a customer's view, and also a bit of a novice web developer view. I think it's the 101 of marketing, and that is getting to know your customer. And I think one of the dangers that I've seen with some of the way that we deal with marketing and with web development is that because it's so complex, we just tick boxes. And so currently, the company I work for has got a strategic marketing plan under development with an outside company, and they have 2 large websites to be created. We had someone in a marketing company to come and give a bit on both, and they seemed to ask the questions, went away, and they just didn't really take it on board. And so therefore what they were presenting just isn't, and I'm coming from a marketing background, I know the company and it was just crap. So I guess my input is that what's so important is to actually get to know the customer and the product, the feeling of the company, and they came and visited the company, and it just was not good. Was not good.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I feel like that as well. I feel like whether it's like building a website or setting up an ads account, sometimes it looks to be like boxes are being ticked, but very little consideration into the bigger picture of what the business actually needs. So yeah, I think, more conversations needed.
Thank you, Lou. That was really great. I'm actually the marketing manager for the Digital Picnic, so really appreciate the shout out. We do have that agency webinar. It's on the 12th of November, and you can sign up on our website, or if you jump on I'm pretty sure we're going to plug it on there soon. I just wanted to answer some of those questions as well around the marketing element for us. We do have that really strong educational wing. It's not always the most profitable for us. Like, we have a lot of not fit clients because of that. They don't have the money for agency services. So we're consistently straddling the gap between those low price trainings, one-off services, and that 3-month product actually fills that gap between people who can't afford us for an ongoing retainer. So it is kind of an interesting niche that we have. We do a lot of solopreneurs, really small businesses as well, but it is really just building up that profile with our audience. And Cherie, the founder, does a lot of speaking gigs, and we have a large media presence as well. So they're kind of things that contribute to that model for us. But anyways, Cherie and Savannah are going to share pretty much, how we look after our clients. We basically don't accept everyone ever. And I think that was similar to Kate in her speech as well. If you guys caught the last session, we do have the luxury of that. We have the luxury of turning people away, and we barely promote our services. People come to us because they've heard about us. Yeah.
Thanks, Jessie.
Any other questions? Preferably someone over here. How do I get there? Who leaves the table out?
Lou, I feel terrible doing this because I talked to you before about what questions you wanted to ask, and I did not ask you anything about this. So I hope I'm not throwing you under the bus. But I know in your bio you mentioned being a really passionate advocate for consent-based marketing, and I'm just really curious if you can tell us a little bit more about what that means to you, and also is that something that we can hear about at WordCamp Brisbane, because I would watch the hell out of that talk.
Yeah, sure. I think to give a very simple and clear example, a practical example of consent marketing is making sure that you get permission to add someone to an email list, because I understand it's not really illegal to add people to your email list depending on where you are, but I feel like it's a bit rude if I go and buy something online and automatically I'm subscribed without asking to be subscribed. So just like being really clear about whether you are going to add someone to your mailing list or give them the option to do that. Like that's a very simple consent-based thing that you can do. And that's what I'm talking about with consent marketing, or an example of it. And I'd love to talk more about it.
Amazing. And one last sneaky question, and this is for everyone else in the room who has been too scared to ever put their hand up to do a talk at a meetup or a WordCamp. Was it as scary as you were expecting?
Yeah.
Was it worth it though?
Yeah.
I was going to say, just to lean into that consent-based marketing thing, I'm not sure how aware we are in this country of European laws, but GDPR is a privacy kind of policy, consent framework, legal thing that they implemented, and it has global reach. So if we as customers, or if we as agency owners have businesses that market and have customers in Europe, we have to comply with their laws as well. So even though we're here and we build a website for here, GDPR applies, which can be scary, but consent.
Yeah, I really appreciate you saying that. Most of the clients and businesses I deal with only serve in Australia, so it's not a problem for us right now, but if it becomes an issue, if I'm working with someone who has customers in Europe, then yeah, for sure, I'll take that seriously.
Thanks, Lou. My question was, how do we tackle it when it's the clients who are resistant to the change, I guess? So maybe we're giving the client information that's best for their business because we're the experts and we know what should be happening, and they're the ones going, no, it doesn't matter. Put it all on black. It doesn't matter. I'll just pay for these ads. I'm getting it. When they're really resistant to listening to what we have to say, is there we want to do what's best by them, but they're also paying us money. And we work for money, essentially, don't we? So it's how do we find that balance, or do you have any advice for that?
Yeah, great question. So I like to, if it's possible and if they have it, show them the data. So show them in numbers what's working and what's not working. So for instance, if they've got like a lead capture on their website, show in Google Analytics whether or not that's working. And if they don't have that data, start collecting it. Does that help?
It does, absolutely. Thank you.
We've still got more time if someone wants another question. That might be it. They're just very keen for early morning tea.
Yeah.
Well, can we give Lou a huge round of applause?